What's going on, Jerome's? Happy MLB opening day for those who celebrate. Twins, I feel like this is like the plot of Major League, where, hey, we have this team that the ownership doesn't spend any money, probably trying to move the team. All of a sudden, win the whole effing thing. Just to stick a right in ownership's face. Also, Wilfs, can you please just buy the Twins? Just one time. But for the Vikings, of course, story of the day yesterday was Kwesi finally breaking his silence, addressing the local media jackals, and it was a freaking debacle. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. And remember, like we said yesterday, most press conferences, 10, 12 minutes. They spent the first 10 minutes rehashing every conceivable Rodgers and extension question. It was just bad. All right. And it sucks because, yeah, ask the Rodgers question. Yes, ask the extension question. That should take about 45 seconds total. There's so many other things that went on with the Vikings in free agency. Hey, Beasley left. How about Theo Jackson? What does Harrison Smith do for one last ride? Murph, you paid him. Like, well, what does that mean? What are you going to do with left guard? Hey, did the Eagles' dominance in the Super Bowl over the Chiefs inspire you to double down on offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, as well as that running back? Is that what it is? Hey, is Hargrave going to be a three-down player, or is he going to be a situational pass rush guy? Hey, what about off-ball linebacker given Pace and Cashman's injuries last year? He needs some depth. All of those would have been much better viable questions as opposed to, hey, what about Aaron Rodgers? Did you consider him? Who talked to him first? So is the door closed? Well, did Rodgers decide no? Did you offer him? It was so frustrating. It was unbelievably frustrating, but Gessling summed it up the best. Kwesi said Kevin O'Connell talked with Aaron Rodgers. They have a long-standing relationship. They've known each other for years. He's got a great relationship with Aaron. I just said that. They've had a lot of conversations. Now, they really chewed on a lot of conversations. Now, that does not imply a lot of conversations about contract, role with his team. They could have talked about ayahuasca. They could have talked about buffalo jerky. They could have talked about Kevin O'Connell being 6'5". I'm sure Rodgers would love to be 6'5". I mean, Kevin O'Connell, if this is a different era, like, he probably would have been a really solid two-guard to small forward. Just running the floor. Shoot the J. Shoot it. Obviously, he's looped us in, and we go from there. Just being involved in those, the dialogue was really special. The Vikings decided to move forward with JJ McCarthy, and of course, Kwesi talked about how, yes, the plan is to have JJ McCarthy be quarterback one. That is all their hopes and dreams, building a rooster around him. Yes. But adofo-mensah didn't close the door on Rodgers. That's awesome. A lot of conversations didn't close the door. That's what they talked about over and over and over and over and over again. And as we said yesterday, it's not Kwesi's job to close the door on a potential free agent. It isn't, right? And it's just, for me to sit here and say that anything's 100% forever, that's just not the job, right? We're responding to scenarios and different information as it comes. So obviously things can change, but right now we're really happy with our room, and we look to upgrade it in different ways. If Rodgers would sign here for $1 million for 1 year for the league minimum, yes, the Vikings would sign him. But also, hey, Rodgers, you're going to come in and compete with JJ McCarthy. You will not be handed the job, and then Rodgers obviously balked. It's just really frustrating because they won't let it die, because they want this narrative to live on, because, the prophecy, and again, I understand a lot of the media, they're in it for clicks and all that stuff. And that's how you eat. That's how you survive. Fully get it. But it's just beyond the pale. And our guy, Andrew Filipponi, who does a great job. He's in the whole Steelers Twitter sphere. Steelers fan theory. Aaron Rodgers has a handshake deal with the Steelers, but will announce he's coming here on April 9th at Pat McAfee's sold-out show at PPG Paints Arena. And that just makes the most sense in all the world. Didn't even think about that. The tie-in with the McAfee show. He's got a live show in Pittsburgh, and he's going to have guests. Rodgers trots out there. Just imagine the crowd reaction. 12,000 jabronis all of a sudden finding out that Aaron Rodgers is going to be their old-ass Bird Bones quarterback. Woo. It's going to be great. It's going to be really good. But everything comes back to Rodgers, where, again, people get excited. Well, he was MVP. Was MVP. Hasn't been good since 2021. Did you see the Packers in 2022? Or am I taking crazy pills? And also, remember, the Giants were just like, hey, we're going to take the Italian Russ dangerous as well as Jameis instead of Rodgers. Because remember, hey, any team that would have wanted Rodgers could have had him. Because guess what? They could have amped up the money. They could have amped up the guarantees. They could have amped up the years, but they didn't do it. Steelers, they're just hanging around, just floating around. All that stuff. And also, at the end of the day, Occam's douchebag. The simplest explanation is the most likely. The Jets. The frickin' Jets, who haven't had a quarterback since Joe Willie Namath way back in the day. They're taking on $49 million in dead cap to have Rodgers go away. And remember, Aaron Glenn was open to having Rodgers back. But Aaron Glenn is basically like, hey, you can't be on the McAfee show. And then Rodgers just like, no. This is like 2 weeks ago. Anyways, I still don't think it's happening. But, of course, The Athletic really leaned into this thing. And we've talked about this and litigated this several times already. But Diana Rossini leading the charge. Mike Silver as her top lieutenant really leading in. Chase Daniel, your local beat writer, Alec Lewis as well. And I get it. I mean, they want to make a name, and they either thought they had reliable information, or they're just viewing the available information and just really twisting the screws and just really leaning into it. Now, you could chalk it up as an innocent mistake if they didn't just keep doubling and tripling down and then making so much content off of it, which readers and viewers aren't stupid, right? And I got a lot of respect for the Jeromes, people who spend time on this channel. You're not stupid, right? But it seems like a lot of national media outlets think that you are, where they can just say whatever they think or feel, or what they're prodded to say by an agent, by a team, being used as a mouthpiece, being used as pawns on a chessboard, and then they think that you can just say this and the public will just accept it, right? And here's what's great. So John Krasinski, who I have a ton of respect for, he's a fantastic writer for the Timberwolves. But I feel like, so this is great. Alec Lewis talking about, Kevin O'Connell having direct conversation with Aaron Rodgers. And again, really latching on to a lot of conversations. Krasinski, who's done this a couple times now. The reactions from some Vikings fans and fanboys. Am I a fanboy? Does that count? To real credible reporting about this from Alec, Diana, and others. I'm sure that Mike Silver just really pumped up to be called others. Just because they didn't like it was completely absurd. Now, he's definitely going hard in the paint here. And also, reporting from only one news outlet. Remember, ESPN, NFL Network, Fox Sports, CBS, like no one else was leaning in this hard on Vikings Rodgers. Mike Silver calling it 50-50. Rossini saying, gut feeling, Rodgers ends up with the Vikings, or seriously considered. There's a big leap between, again, information everyone agrees upon. Yeah, the Vikings talked about Aaron Rodgers. Yes, they considered Aaron Rodgers, but also they talked to and considered Daniel Jones, Nick Mullins, Slinging Sam Darnold, obviously. Again, leaving no stone unturned, Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell doing their jobs. Now, it is a huge leap to go from a couple conversations or even a lot of conversations to 50-50 or seriously considered. That's a huge illogical leap. And that's where a lot of Vikings fans, whether they like Rodgers, whether they don't, and we've said all of our things about Rodgers is strictly on the field. I don't think that he's the same quarterback that people think that he is. Right, and I do not think that he is the missing piece. I think that JJ McCarthy was plan 1A, 1B, 1C this entire time, right? But it also, trying to give the Athletic the benefit of the doubt, but that definitely goes away when the basketball guy has to come in and be like, hey, you idiots, Vikings fans, you don't like it, you fanboys. It's just so stupid. It's stupid, and it's unbecoming, and frankly, it doesn't matter. No, who cares? He's not coming here. Like, again, unless the rapture happens and only sports writers and Rodgers are left, that's it. That's the only way that Rodgers becomes the Vikings quarterback. That's it. And it's just, It really makes you believe in the reporting more if the basketball guy has to come in and just be like, hey, you effing idiots, fanboys. It's just so funny, man. And again, to say something is real credible reporting makes you question if it's real credible reporting, especially when real credible reporting, like Schefter, like Rap Sheet, like Pelissero, yeah, they acknowledge that there was some interest or some conversations about the Vikings and Rodgers, but Pelissero from Rich Eisen's show last week, there have been some things reported and rumored that have been exaggerated or lacking context. The idea that they were strongly considering, that's not my understanding. And again, Pelissero was the one who really put the kibosh on these things last week because the Vikings free agents were about to meet with the local media jackals, and they didn't want 17,000 questions about Aaron Rodgers, which is exactly what happened at Kwesi's presser yesterday. And Pelissero, I mean, no one's more dialed in with the Vikings than Pelissero. Pelissero's information likely came straight from Kwesi, right? That's how dialed in that is. So, again, going from there have been things missing context, not my understanding, blah, 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 versus 50-50. And if you don't believe it, you don't believe in reporting. Let's just move on. Please, 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 please. Also, what completely got slept on in that complete circus debacle of a press conference, sham press conference, was, oh yeah, Kwesi, fully all in with Kevin O'Connell and JJ McCarthy. Lindsey Young, fantastic Lindsey Young. When we pooled the resources we did to draft JJ, you go through that process. That's the outcome we want. He's exceeded our expectations at every point. I can't tell you what the future is, but I can tell you what I expect to be the outcome, and that's JJ McCarthy as quarterback one. And they've assembled, remember, actions. Everything the Vikings have done this offseason is surrounding JJ McCarthy with talent, building up the trenches, building up the running game, getting that defense good to go. That's exactly what they've done. How does this add up to, and also remember, highest drafted quarterback in team history, the trade up to go get him. How does that add up to 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers? It doesn't. And here's what's really funny too. People will nitpick and be like, well, you just called Rodgers 42. He's actually 41. Actually, like that makes a difference. And when we talk about age, we talk about how old the player is going to be in that football season. So yes, for us, Rodgers 42. Again, it's just so frustrating. Like, for the love of Christ, for love of everything that's freaking holy, can we please just have nice things? Oh, but JJ McCarthy's never taken an NFL snap. Where do you think quarterbacks come from? Do you think they're just birthed from the womb, 27 years old, 6 seasons of NFL experience in the rookie year? Is that what happens? I mean, Jaden Daniels didn't take an NFL snap last year until he did. Seemed to work out pretty good. And frankly, I think that the Vikings have a lot better talent around JJ McCarthy, as well as better coaching, and Jaden Daniels did just fine. Jaden Daniels is going to be really damn good. Why can't JJ McCarthy be good? Again, so many questions. Well, what if JJ busts? What if he doesn't? And frankly, I feel like some fans don't deserve a franchise quarterback. Maybe it's just that they're so used and conditioned to the veteran Band-Aid roller coaster over and over and over again. Rodgers, just like Favre, goes from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings. Oh, it's a prophecy. Baloney. Oh, Jordan Love in a couple years, he'll go to the Jets and go to the Vikings. So stupid. Just moronic. Again, please, just let us enjoy our freaking quarterback one. That's it, man. But quarterback two, like we said yesterday, I think Kwesi let the cat out of the bag. The quarterback two is going to be Joe Flacco. Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gershman. Kwesi adofo-mensah said the team is being mindful of the compensatory pick process as it searches for another veteran quarterback. A player signed after April 29th won't count against the Vikings in that process. So Kwesi was straight up asked about quarterback two, veteran quarterback two, and then Kwesi brought up unprompted comp picks. Now, the Vikings can sign Ryan Tannehill right now without impacting the comp picks because he wasn't on a team last year, doesn't have an expiring contract, but it does seem like there's a wink nudge situation going on with the Vikings of Flacco because, yeah, outside of a couple like early whispers, like there hasn't really been any concrete, hey, this team XYZ is interested in Flacco, even though obviously he should and could be in demand. So maybe there is something going on there. Oh, hey, guess what? Just like Rodgers and Kevin O'Connell, Flacco and Kevin O'Connell have a good relationship. Oh, there's a lot of conversations going on. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Also ridiculous at the quarterback 3 spot. This is a great edit by our guy Eli Corbett. But Dave Naylor, TSN, CFL Insider, the Saskatchewan Roughriders added quarterback Trey Lance, the number 3 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, to their negotiation list on Monday of this week. Lance's father, Carlton, is a former Saskatchewan Roughriders cornerback. So Trey Lance and Brock Purdy really covers up just the debacle of Trey. Like Trey Lance, God bless him, probably should be considered one of the biggest quarterback busts in NFL history, and not just because of his play. Like, he didn't get the time of day, and then he broke his ankle, right? And then Brock Purdy took over. So it really isn't his play on the field. It's just that everything that the 49ers gave up, they gave up 3 ones and change to go get him, and he wasn't the guy. And frankly, if Shanahan and Lynch didn't luck box their way into Brock Purdy, they'd both be fired. Long fired. But probably would have a job very quickly. But yeah, Trey Lance hasn't worked out. And now the CFL, frankly, I think the UFL would be a better fit for Trey Lance because the CFL is a passing league. It's like when Tebow wasn't working out after Tebow Mania. Like, hey, Tebow can go to the CFL. The CFL is literally a passing league. They have 3 downs. They throw the ball. Like, you have to be accurate up there. Like, frankly, quarterbacks from the Arena League and CFL, there's a lot more crossover. Like, quick decisions, throw the ball, get it out there. And, yeah, Lance, he does have attributes. He does have skills. He does need developmental time. So, frankly, I think the UFL would have been a better shot. But, I don't know. They'd rather start Kellen Mond. Who knows? But either way, doesn't seem like the Vikings have interest in no pants for Trey Lance. The pride of Marshall, Minnesota is what it is. There you go. And also, we do have to check ourselves and our bias sometimes, because if Trey Lance was like from, I don't know, Paducah, Kentucky, like, we wouldn't give 2 hoots about him, right? But because he's hashtag one of us from Marshall, I mean, we are Marshall. Next. So NFL is considering some rule changes. And this one, rule change proposal. Replay assists can pick up a flag if clear and obvious video evidence exists in these additional situations. Defenseless player, head, neck, my head, my neck, area contact. So basically hitting the quarterback. If you hit him, but you didn't hit him in the head or neck, they could pick up that flag if it was thrown. Face mask, horse collar, tripping, who cares? A roughing, running into the kicker. So basically, if a flag is thrown and then they check upstairs with like the VR, for lack of a better term, they could pick up the flag. But, if the foul occurred, but a flag was not thrown, they can't just put a flag out there. Now, it's an imperfect situation, but it's probably for the best. And yes, the Sam Darnold clear face mask against the Rams in the end zone, that would not have been beneficial for the Vikings because no flag was thrown, even though 2 refs had a very clear view of it. But, I mean, I'll always look at unintended consequences. So, obviously, refs know that if they throw a flag and it's not there, they can get bailed out. So, you're going to see a lot more flags. Right. And now you will see some of them picked up, but some of them won't be picked up or overturned. But also, you don't want the ability of a review assistant or Park Avenue in New York to throw a flag, because then that just opens up a whole nother can of worms. It's like how they're explaining with the tush push, Frankie Louvu just jumping over the pile over and over and over again, and the ref explaining, hey, we can award a touchdown. You're never going to do that. You're never going to have a ref put points on the board, and you are never going to have a penalty called from the booth. Just can't have that because, I mean, people think that the league is rigged as it is, but if you have that, maybe there's some credence there. I don't know. But I think it's a smart move. But again, unintended consequences, you will see a lot more flags being thrown. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it is what it is. Like, something should be done when there's clear, egregious, game-changing, momentum-changing penalties that are flagged or not flagged improperly. Lastly, so of course the Vikings, the over-under 6.5 wins last year, spitting in the face. It was a slap in the face how quickly I was replaced, but now the Vikings chilling at 8.5 wins. Connor Allen, early NFL win totals from ESPN Bet, which I don't know, is in business for this week. We'll see what the future. But Vikings chilling at 8.5. Hammer the freaking over. I know. Hey, rotation with the schedule kind of stinks this year. Oh, but Vikings schedule is so tough. Yeah, they have to play the Vikings. Guess what? That defense got better. This offensive line got better. And guess what? Even though Darnold was very good last year, I think JJ McCarthy, given the circumstances, giving him some time to get his sea legs, I think he'll be better. Running game will be better. Receiving game will be better outside of the 3 games Addison has to miss due to suspension. Bring it. Bring it on, man. It's okay. Hell, the Vikings might double up on their win total just like last year. 8.5 wins, so that's 17. Woo. Wow. It's okay. Hey, if they hate, let them hate and watch the money pile up. That's what we do, man. Anyways, Vikings news dump on this beautiful, gorgeous Thursday. Support the work, subscribe. Hey, we're almost to 100K. It's awesome. Also, toss a couple bucks in the Venmo. Buy us a couple coffees around here. It's going to be good. Also, I think I need a new microphone. We'll work that out. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.